Women speaking up for themselves and for those around them is the strongest force we have to change the world. The words of Melinda Gates rings true, don't you think? Welcome to the She Speaks Anthology Project. I want to thank you for your interest in at least being curious enough to be listening to my invite to you, my sisters, today. As the CEO and founder of Four Eagles Publishing, and having made the conscious decision to only produce 2 impactful multi-author books a year, I am always considering what topics need to come to light at the time of curation. I actually thought that the next anthology project to open for applications would be called Visionary. But She Speaks woke me up at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning, whispering loudly and urgently into my soul that this was the next title, the next platform to create change and a movement across the globe. At the time, the news was full of the tragedy of Russia invading the Ukraine. Now, I don't usually watch the news, but I happened to scroll through and see that a maternity hospital had been bombarded and that women and children were hurt, dying, and being evacuated at one of the most intimate and sacred moments of a woman's life, childbirth. What kind of a world are we creating for our children if we stay silent? What kind of a world are we creating for ourselves? What are we condoning simply through the act of staying silent? She Speaks is a celebration of the change we can create when we find the courage to speak up. It is a collection of stories told by courageous women who dare to speak up about what matters most. For too long, we have stayed silent, hoping that somebody else will step in. For too long, we have believed the falsehood that a single person can't make a difference. For too long, we have suffered in the shadows, believing that we are alone. But we are never alone. There's an entire globe of women waiting to join together and raise their voices for those who have not yet found theirs. There is so much power in you, in your voice, in what you have to say. In speaking up, you shine a light and reach a hand out to your sisters to let them know that they are not alone, that you have been where they are, and that there is a light on the other side. The stories I am looking to highlight in this book are ones such as sexual harassment, loss of a child, infertility, mental health, body image, eating disorders, self-worth, self-belief, domestic violence, emotional abuse, bullying, suicide, racism, manipulation, loss of identity during big life changes, addiction. Really, the list could go on and on. There are so many topics that happen behind closed doors. And as Zainab Salbi said, as women, we must speak out, speak up, say no to our inheritance of loss, and yes to a future of women-led dialogue about women's rights and values. She Speaks is the platform. It is time we find our voices to speak up about what has become far too common behind closed doors. Now, your story may not be one of violence or loss. Your story may be one of finding the courage to ask for what you need and knowing that you deserve to have it and more, so much more. When our sisters fought for the right to vote and work, what we failed to do is to also demand support for all of the other jobs we do as women. Not only do we now contribute financially, but we are also still required to be everything else that we always have been in society or the family unit. the cook, the cleaner, the therapist, the mediator, the laundress, the counselor, the doctor, the lover, the friend, the wife, the daughter, the sister, so many things. And then we've still got time to be ourselves. So many women don't know how to ask for help, and they suffer in silence, becoming more burnt out, resentful, and angry by the day. No more. That's no way to live. And as we have journeyed through the darkness, now must we shine a light for those who come behind us. We live in fear that if we speak, we will not be heard, or that people will not like what we have to say. But we also live in fear when we stay silent. So don't you think it's better that we speak? Should you decide to join us in the She Speaks project, my team and I here at Four Eagles Publishing, together with the co-authors who are coming together in this book, will guide you to not only tell your story in the form of a chapter, but also to become more visible and impactful than ever before. She Speaks is not just a book. It is the catalyst you have been looking for to expand to even greater heights on both a professional and a personal level. We are talking about adding best-selling author to your name, featuring in the media across the globe, and owning the stage at remarkable events. I am looking for women who already have a business and who have a service or product that sells well. I am looking for the woman who is ready to become the most well-known expert in their niche. I am looking for the woman who came to do great things. If this is you, then I invite you to apply for one of 20 spots in She Speaks. There is a moment where you have to make a choice to either speak up or stay silent. This is that moment. Will you join us?